Hey there, my name is Gail. I'm teaching today adaptive yoga. It's for the Veterans Yoga Project. I hope you join me in just 1 minute. In fact, we're just going to go right over to the chair. You'll need a chair for class. And if you have a strap for part of your yoga gear, or maybe a tie or a belt, or maybe take a long beach towel and kind of make it be nice and long, you could use that. But you can do the class without a strap. It's cool. All right, so let's get started on our adaptive yoga. So what we'll do in class, we'll do breath, we'll do warm-up, a little bit of core work, then we'll transition to standing, or you may stay seated. That's perfectly fine too. We'll do a bit of balance, cool down, and we'll do the yogic sleep method or a little mindful gratitude. So let's start. Again, my name's Gail. I'm happy to be an ambassador for the Veterans Yoga Project. Join me. Hi everybody, again, it's Gail. We're going to get started. So, first to get started, we're away from the back of the chair, and we're going to use those tall posture muscles. Sit up nice and tall, so your knees are in alignment with your ankle bones. And let's just go ahead and place our hands on our stomach, and we're going to start with the breath. So, let's breathe in, belly big. Let's exhale, bring the belly towards the spine. And again, inhaling, belly gets big, chest rises. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Once again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Beautiful. So we're going to do some warm-up work. So what I like to do in the chair yoga classes that I teach are the 6 essential spinal movements. So we'll start with cat-cow. Again, we're away from the back of the chair, kind of scoot a little bit forward. And let's bring our palms in front of us, hands in front of us. And as we inhale, let's curl the fingers and bring them towards our armpits. So here we go. Inhale and draw yourself forward. And as you exhale, curve the spine and push the hands away. A little curve in the spine. And again, inhale, draw it forward. Exhale, push away. You're going to do that again, and I'm going to show this sidewise. Again, inhale, draw it forward. Exhale, push it away. See that little curve in my spine? Extension and flexion. Inhale, draw it forward for the cow pose. Exhale, curve it away for cat. Let's do one more time. Inhale, draw it forward. Exhale, push it away. Beautiful. Now, always we keep everything between the easy and ouch. If it hurts, don't do it. If you don't like the pose or your breathing gets kind of weird, take a break, step back, just breathe nice and slow, and join us for the next pose. All right, so poses number 3 and 4 in this spinal series is side lateral flexion. So this is where we bring the arm up above our head and we kind of tilt over. That really opens up the intercostals, those ribs, and helps us strengthen our lungs. So I'm going to scoot over just a little bit and then take this hand back behind me. I'm doing weight bearing on the wrist, elbow, shoulder. So that's bone building benefit. My feet about, 12 inches apart. And let's inhale, circle, sweep the arm up. Now as you exhale, belly button towards the spine and then lean over. Inhale, back on up. Belly soft. Exhale, contract the belly. So this works the lungs. Inhale, bring it back on up. Exhale, contract the belly, bring it over. And again, inhale, back on up. Exhale, let's stay here. Really reach and feel the QL muscles getting really nice and extended here. We don't normally move this way unless you're grabbing on the top shelf in your pantry for something that you don't really want to eat, right? Because it's on that top shelf. And again, strength. This is probably one of the easier way to strengthen the lungs is to do this side lateral flexion. And again, inhale, exhale, bring it back on up. Inhale, float it down. Beautiful. Kind of wiggle those shoulders a little bit. All right, we're going to scooch over a little bit to the other side of our chair. Again, feet firm into the floor, and place that hand back behind you. You're kind of squeezing the shoulder while you're doing this too. All right, so let's start on this other side. Y'all ready? I'm also recording this on Zoom, so if you'd like a link for this on Zoom, It's a little bit different type of recording method, and I can give that to you. So here we go. Breathe in, circle, sweep an arm up. And then exhale, belly button towards the spine, reach over. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, reach over. Notice if one side feels a little different than the other. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. And again, inhale, back on up. And one more time, exhale. Stay here in the pose. Don't hold the breath, though. Keep breathing. Really kind of lengthen from that shoulder to the armpit. Notice if you're kind of turning more towards the floor. Try to really bring it back and reach, 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 reach. But again, keep it between the easy and ouch. If this is a little bit too much, if you're starting to kind of grimace or kind of squint your eyes, that's a little bit too much. That's your cue. You can always back off a little bit or all the way. In fact, let's inhale. Exhale, float it down. And again, little shoulder rolls here. All right, so we did spinal movements 1 and 2, which are cat-cow. 3 and 4, side lateral flexion on each side. And now we're going to do seated twists. Now, what I like to do is take a strap and do the pose. So, if you had a strap, you may use it. If you don't have a strap, don't do it with the strap, all right? The feet are going to be a little bit wider. And again, we're going to have a nice tall posture. Try not to have us going down towards the floor. So when you slump towards the floor, you're going to get less oxygen into those lungs. Kind of depressing kind of lungs. So in this day and age with what's going on, we need to have tall posture, engage lots of air all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. So what we're going to do here is do kind of little football goal arms. And if I put it right here in front of you can't see my eyes. Oh, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So again, you kind of go to your comfort. This is where you need to be. That's cool. Maybe you can be a little bit more. And I'm putting it into the web of my hand. So first, let's breathe in, belly button soft. As you exhale, draw the belly button towards the spine. There you go. And then turn towards the little display that's on the floor. Stay here. Breathe in. Exhale, back to heart center. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. Breathe in. Stay right here. Exhale, over towards the other side of the room. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, back to heart center. And down. So did you notice any differences in the range of motion, you twisting one direction versus the other direction? So things to notice. They're probably not the same. I know they're not the same for me because I have a little bit of scoliosis and one side is pulled super tight compared to the other side that is super lengthened. So by me doing the arms without having hands on the side of my legs and just kind of really cranking into the pose, I'm honoring my body. So again, keep it between the easy and ouch. So we did cat-cow, side lateral flexion, twist side to side. So now let's do a little bit of mobility in the hip joint. So if you have a strap, you're going to kind of fold it in half and step on it with your foot. If you don't have a strap, what you'll do instead is have the hands be underneath. But you're kind of a little bit leaning forward, so make sure you're nice and hingy and tall posture. I like the straps because it kind of is an extension of my arms, right? So this is a very common thing that we do every single day when we're having to get in our car. So we're having to get into the car and get out of the car. So a lot of people have pain in that hip joint. So we try to, move it or we're going to lose it, right? If you rest, you're going to rest. So what we're going to do here is just slide it out to the side and in. So I call this the slide pose. I don't think that's actually a name of a yoga pose, but I just call it that. And from here, just kind of notice how this feels as you're bringing the leg in and out. Again, you can use the strap. You can use the hands underneath the thighs. So lots of little modifications here. Now, let's add a little air. So imagine there's a golf ball underneath here, or maybe a kid's playground ball, or maybe a soccer ball. So whatever you can kind of like put in your brain here. And we're going to invite air into the pose. Oh my. So we're going to bring it up and down. Invite air into the pose. I'm not sure what that actually means other than you're getting a little air time with the foot, right? Again, remember you can use hands underneath to facilitate this pose. All right, whoops, I kind of lost my strap there when I facilitated my pose. That's a big fancy word, isn't it? Again, to kind of get mobility, warm up the hip flexors. We're trying to increase joint mobility, and this is one of the poses to do that. All right, from here, bring it back to heart center. That should be pretty warmed up on that side. So let's just kind of switch it over to the other, or hands underneath. Remember, tall posture. You can slide it out. I'm going to use my strap to do that. Again, you might find a tie in your closet, or a belt that you could do or use, or you get a long beach towel. You kind of, ravel it to where you can step on the center of the beach towel, hang on to the ends, and, use that to kind of make this pose a little bit more accessible. And let's add some air, or if you want to continue to slide, remember, you always have permission to do the previous pose, or just sit out. Woo! Now notice, does this side feel any different than when you did it on the other side? So again, for me, it feels a little bit more open than the other side. No judgment there, just, noticing, I wonder what's going on with that side of the body. Sometimes I have pain over there more than the other, so the little questions to kind of ask yourself. Beautiful. All right, again, warming up this hip for better joint mobility. That's good stuff. Also improves circulation. This can also help to ease back pain and gain flexibility. Let's bring it back to the center. Yay. I'm going to put a little extra tender love and care because that one's kind of spicy, so I'm just going to give my hip a little rub there. Just create a little heat. Okay. Woo, take a little break there. Again, always keep it between the easy and ouch. So next we're going to do sneaky crunches. You probably did not expect crunches in your adaptive yoga class, but we're going to kind of do them. So from here, I've got the straps into my hands. And again, you can do hands underneath. That works too. So let's inhale. And as we exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, leg out. Leg doesn't have to be straight. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg down. Reset your spine. Be tall spine. Again, let's inhale. Stay here. Exhale, knee into chest. Exhale, leg out. Did I say exhale twice in a row? I think I did. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg down. Woo! Let's do one more. Here we go. Breathe in first. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg out. Toes towards your heart center. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg down. Yay! That side is over. Let's scooch it over to the other one. And again, I'm going to bring this foot out. Now, this other foot, I'm going to press firmly into the ground. That's kind of my grounding leg, so I'm going to feel all this activation of the leg there when I do that. Whew, here we go. Inhale first. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg out. Ooh, this one feels different. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg down. Now, breathing in and out through the nose or mouth so you can hear the breath. Normally, you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. It's called the Ujjayi breath. You kind of constrict the back of the throat. If you're in a spicy pose, like it's a little bit, ooh, I don't like it, you start to squint those eyes and grimace, you return your attention to the breath. Listen to that noise. Sometimes you can endure the pose or maybe not. So let's try that again. Again, breathing in, tall posture. Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg out. Woo! Exhale, knee into chest. Inhale, leg down. Yay. All right. We may use the strap later on. Haven't decided, but go ahead and place it on the back of your chair or down on the floor. And beautiful. So we'll do Warrior 2 seated on the pose. Seated on the chair. Not on the pose, on the chair. So we'll bring one leg out. I'm going to kind of scooch to the center of my yoga chair. That's funny. All right, and so my one knee is pointed towards you, one knee is pointed away. I'm kind of scooting it out toward that ankle bone is over that knee, and I can kind of feel a little inner thigh stretch going on here. Now, I naturally kind of turn towards the center. What I want to do a more traditional Warrior 2 pose is to invite my shoulders to point towards you. Therefore, I've got a little torso twist happening here, belly button towards the spine. Now, to make this more active, you got to press into those heels. Now, often when I teach this class, when I tell my students to press into their heels, their toes kind of come up. That's okay. Then we're going to do slice in the air with our arms. Now, they're just not out there. They're like little spidey fingers. So really pressing into those feet, yes? All right, so here's where it gets a little bit challenging. I'm scooting more towards the back of my chair. My pants are slippery, oh my. We're going to turn the chin over towards the side where we brought the leg out towards this little display that's on the ground. And again, I'm feeling dynamic tension in those arms, dynamic tension in the legs of them. I'm ferociously pressing into the floor. You know what? We're going to change it into warrior, reverse warrior. Hand goes on the chair, palm goes up, you reach out a little bit. And then again, getting that side lateral, opening up those ribs, getting more length into the lungs. Let's breathe in. Weight bearing on that hand back behind us. And out. And again, inhaling. And out. And release. Beautiful. Let's take this over to the other side. So just kind of scooch on over to the other side. Scoot your booty a bit. Again, one leg towards you, one leg out. Very good. And I'm going to kind of make that ankle be right in alignment with my knee. And I don't want this out to the side. I want it more towards you. Again, look, I naturally turn to the center. So the challenge is really lifting up and towards you. Very good. Press into both heels. Float the arms up. Beautiful. Make some little adjustments if you wish. Belly button towards the spine. Let's turn our chin over towards the little candles that are on the floor. And here we go. Breathe in. Extend those arms. Press into those heels. And exhale. Again, strength building right here. Press, press, press. And exhale. One more time. Breathing in. You with me? And exhale. Now, place that hand down. Relax the legs just for a second. Let all that dynamic tension disappear. Guess what? Make it go back. Press into the heels. Hand on that chair. Press, press. We're going to reach a little forward and up. Expand those ribs. Press into the floor. Now notice again if it feels a little different this side versus the other. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Reverse warrior. And release. Come back to the center. All right, let's check our time. It's a 30-minute class. All right, we're kind of at the halfway point. Let's do one more for warming up and circulation into the behind the glutes. If you got that shooty pain down the leg, that sciatic stuff, you got to warm up your piriformis and then you got to stretch it out. How do you do that? There's one or two ways. In chair yoga, you can either bring the ankle across and start bouncing the leg. So I have several clients that have knee replacements. So this is what they like to do. They'll maybe take both hands. So this, movement is movement, whether your movement is here or in the next variation of the pose. Again, this is called the Piriformis Bounce. I've got this big old twang, so forgive me. It's one of the muscles in our behind that kind of wraps around that sciatica or is next to it. And it can be all in different places. Or here's your other version of the pose. Lean a little forward, grab the top of the ankle, and then bring it across. Woo! Do you feel some spice going on? So you're going to have the knee more towards your chest. And again, kind of may not go very far. You may have to, just do a little gentle movement. Now the top toes, bring them, draw them towards your knee. And I'm going to take this bottom foot, move it out a little bit. Very good. So again, bouncing the piriformis. So you got to circulate. You got to warm up the muscle before you stretch it out. So yes, this is also some of the poses you do for easing low back pain. So you got to move it. You got to circulate it. You're going to get frozen if you don't move it. All right, and then we're going to sit up nice and tall. So several things you can do here. This may be perfectly fine. This may be lots of spice. If it is, use that breath right here. If you want to try, it's always if you want to try a little bit more, hand on the top of the foot, hand on the shin bone, elbows out. Tall, 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 tall posture. Try not to drop towards the floor, but be nice and lengthy. And then hinge forward. Now, I probably only came about, 2 or 3 inches. But I can feel that spice, so I'm going to breathe right here. So if I redirect my senses to that breath, sometimes that makes that spice a little bit less. Now you can also alternatively grab the spokes of the chair, squeeze the shoulders, elbows towards one another, and hands forward. Now, when my voice changes, that usually means it's a little bit too much, and I start, squinting. Woo! It's a spicy. But some people like that spice, They want to feel their yoga. That's okay. Just know that Epsom salts become your best friends after a yoga class. All right, come back on up, and let's just bring that leg down. Just kind of wiggle that leg a little bit. The other one kind of wiggles at the same time. All right, let's do the other side. Again, it may be here, and you may be pushing it and bringing it towards you, or slowly manipulating it. Again, it's okay wherever you are in your pose, right? So again, no judgment here. So we're going to invite this one to come up a little bit. maybe. If you do it here, it's kind of hard to do the pose. So, try to bring it on top. Now, this one's a little bit, higher towards my chest. This one's, again, my very tight side. So this probably is going to have short range of motion. So this little Piriformis Bounce is like different versus the other. Again, notice what's going on. One side of the body versus the other. Again, we're circulating, increasing circulation to the hip, to the behind, just trying to get that all warmed up. All right, so let's do the full version of the pigeon, or pigeon, as I like to say. Sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to bring this leg out a little bit. Toes towards my knees, so I get that knee nice and aligned. Elbows out and hinge a little forward. Woo! So again, hello, hip. Can y'all feel that a little bit? I'm going to turn a little bit. So I'm feeling it right here in my behind, a little bit in the low back or upper behind, if that makes any sense. And again, you can alternatively grab low on the chair. Woo! Good stuff, bad stuff, I don't know. Hey, I saw a little heart there. My phone's way far away from me, so thank you for that, whatever that was. I think it was a heart, I'm not sure. But yay. So again, got to warm up those muscles, got to circulate them in order to have less pain in the back. So I teach gentle yoga for low back care, and some of our poses you can do in the chair, which is what we're doing today. All right, we're going to transition now. Now, you always have the option to stand in the chair. We're going to transition to standing. So feet underneath the front of your chair, come up and come all the way up. Woo! All right, so I'm going to move my chair a little forward so you can see the poses in the screen. I kind of looked at this beforehand to see, where this was going to happen. I love doing warrior poses with the chair because I can go a little bit deeper because I am a little competitive with myself at least. And then I have the chair right there. Plus it's a guide. My hips need to be somewhat square with that back into the chair. So let's step those feet out. Again, if you're doing seated chair or seated warrior, that means we're going to bring a leg out towards the side, what I demonstrated earlier. So you may go back into seated warrior if you like. I'm going to heel toe out just a little bit more so you can see my feet. Very good. Maybe I should have black socks on. That might be better. I don't know. This is all an experiment, right? So we're going to lift the heel and then kind of turn that foot a little bit. All right. Now, I already noticed my hips are turning. I like using that chair as a guide. So I kind of make them square, make them parallel to that chair. And I'm going to heel toe out because I got super long legs. I'm about 5'10", and I'm just got this long stuff going on. So long stuff happens, you got to go a little bit wider. All right, so I'm going to bend my knee towards the short end of the yoga mat. Now, I'm going to take a peek. Is my toe aligned with my knee? Yeah, pretty much. All right, now, pretend there's a wrinkle in the middle of your yoga mat, and you're going, I don't like that wrinkle. Of course not. So you're going to pull the legs opposite directions, creating lots of dynamic tension all the way down to the floor. Kind of like we did when we did the seated warrior. We were pushing into the heels. Now we're dragging the legs opposite directions. Now I'm going to straighten up where my shoulders are kind of in alignment with my hips. I tend to turn a little bit. You may too. So I'm just going to think, okay, lengthen up. All right, and the arms out into letter T. Now, if you've got some balance issues, hand on the chair. Perfectly fine. Either with a grip or light fingertips. Either way's okay, all right? So, we're going to turn our chin towards the bent knee side. Whatever range of motion you've got going on, that's what you work with, right? And again, you can do letter T arms. You should start to feel the leg talking to you. So when we stay in the pose 30 seconds, that builds bones because you're stimulating the muscle, which stimulates the bones, which eases osteopenia, osteoporosis. So we're bone building right here. Yes. How about that? Woo! Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. Softly straighten hands on the chair. Pivot the foot. Lift that heel. Kind of wiggle it in a little bit. Here we go. Let me check our time. Excellent. Let's do the other side. Step the feet out. Now sometimes I go too far on one side for the other side. So that's why I like to bring it in and then bring it out. We're going to turn toes towards. I'm going to lift that heel. Kind of turn that foot a little bit. Again, look. My hips turn. Square it with the back end of the chair. It's a great reference point. Bend the knee. I got sticky feet today. Okay. Again, take a peek. Knee aligned with the foot. Yes. Are you hips over shoulders or shoulders over hips or whatever it is, right? Maybe bend a little bit more. Maybe not. That's okay. And then Arms out into that letter T. Wiggle those shoulders a little bit. Very nice. Again, there's a wrinkle in the yoga mat. Draw those legs out, if that makes any sense. You've got dynamic tension, so you're trying to like tension the wrinkle out of your yoga mat. I hope that makes sense, because you want to have your lower part of your body very active. And again, you got spidey hands, creating dynamic tension from the shoulders on it. Try not to wear them up to your ears. Float them down, but extend them. It's kind of an oxymoron there. All right, let's turn that chin. We're staying in the pose. And breathe in and out. Again, breathing in and out. One more time. Here we go. And out. Beautiful. Hand on the chair. Straighten. Lift that foot. Pivot the foot. Bring it in. I've got that sticky mat going on today. I'm going to bring my chair a little bit more back. I like to teach tree pose with the chair. It's wonderful because I've got a lot of balance challenges. So we're going to step a foot out and then turn the foot. Again, we've got one knee going one direction, one knee toward the front. And I'm going to move my chair just a little bit in front of me. There we go, so my hip doesn't hit the chair. Lift the foot that you stepped out and start bringing it in. And notice the dance of the foot that's closest to the chair. You can draw it into the chair and make sure the knee is out to the side. And then think about lengthening from the belly button. Nice tall sternum, chest, raising the arm, maybe raising the other one. I don't know. Nope, not today. My ankle is doing this little wiggly thing, so this is my version of the pose. I do have a challenge in this pose. That's okay. Again, I'm increasing my circulation and gaining flexibility and having better joint mobility in my poses. And this, of course, is bone building. Staying in this pose also for at least 30 seconds. Even if your foot is down on the ground, most of it is weight bearing close to the chair. So again, try to stay here 3 to 5 breaths if you can. If you can't, that's cool. Again, we work towards, noticing one side versus the other. And let's just come out of the pose and move it over to the other side. If you were to do this seated in the chair, let me just demonstrate that, you'd be away from the front of the chair and basically the leg out. And you're on your heel. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that's what I'm doing here. So again, it's getting into all the nooks and crannies in that hip too. That's another thing that tree pose is famous for, is getting into all the musculature, plus challenging the balance and all that good stuff. So we're going to step the foot out, turn the foot, kind of line yourself up, lift that heel, belly button towards the spine, walk it in. Now maybe in the inner thigh, or at the calf, but not on the knee joint, okay? Try to avoid that because you don't want to push into the knee joint. All right, so again, you can already tell I'm able to do this a little bit different on this side versus the other. That's okay, though. It just depends where you are in your poses. Breathing in and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Whoa. And one more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. I say one day I'll get this pose, but that one day maybe 10 years from now. Who knows, right? All right, so we're going to do one more pose before we get to the cool down in our yogic sleep method. You know it. It's called the hover pose. Okay, maybe you don't know it as hover. I call it chair pose, but other people call it hover pose. So belly button towards the spine, and just hands to heart center and bend the knees towards me. And think of the nasty as porta potty, and you're going, no, I don't want to sit on that porta potty, because you want to build strength and mobility. You want to be able to get up and off the toilet easily. That's keeping your independence. So this is actually called the independence pose. Because can you feel the work happening in your quadriceps and your hamstrings and your calves, in that lower part of your body? Let's inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend those knees, belly button towards the spine. Now, I'm going to take my hands and maybe just touch the sides of the chair. Let some work happen here. This is a cardiac pose. Increases the heart rate. I don't know if y'all noticed that yet. And inhale, stand up. Exhale, all the way back down. Contract the belly towards the spine. Come on down. Try not to plop. Well, sometimes we have to plop, right? All right. So let's come back and get a little comfortable into our chair. Settle back into your chair. Legs can come forward. You can cross if it's not a tight cross. And I invite you to close your eyes. Notice the heart rate as you breathe in as you breathe out. So we did our breath, our warm-up, our core work, our standing, our strengthening, and balance. We're now into the cool down. We're just going to be here just for a moment, and now we're doing the guided meditation. So wherever you are, let's get comfortable. Placing your feet on the earth or out in front of you, pushing your back into the chair. Just get a little bit more comfortable sitting on our behind in this chair. Feel free to lean back against the back of the chair and begin to notice your feet touching the earth. Notice your legs, the parts of the body connected to the chair. Notice your arms, hands, and fingers. And notice your shoulders. Notice the head, the top of your head. And let's bring awareness to the face, relaxing the muscles of the face. Maybe opening the mouth slightly to release any tension from the jaw. And then from there, from our body scan, let's move into breathing. Let's just start to bring attention to the breath. Just notice that you are breathing. And then we'll start to manipulate the breath a little by allowing the inhale to get a little bit longer. And then our exhale to get a little bit longer. Again, the inhale a little bit longer. And the exhale a little bit longer. You might notice your heart beating while we're breathing. Allowing your breath to slow down. Notice if your heart rate slows down. Then from breathing, let's move into the opposites. Let's allow your body to feel very heavy, sinking down into the earth or down into the chair. Arms and legs are heavy. And then let's allow our body to feel very light, as though you could float up from your seat, floating up towards the sky. Light arms, light legs, light body. And then from those opposite sensations, let's move into witnessing our thoughts. And we'll start by becoming aware of our thoughts. Take a moment just to observe any thoughts that might be coming into the mind. Maybe you're observing them like at the movies. There's like this big screen at the back of the eyelids. Just notice the thoughts that are running across the screen. Try not to engage with them. Just notice, just watch. Continuing to breathe nice and slow. Watching whatever comes. From witnessing our thoughts, let's move into our emotions. And then for a moment, let's just kind of check in with our emotions. Notice if there are any emotions present for you right now. You could possibly be emotionally neutral. So we're going to work with despair versus hope. Let's remember a time in your life when you felt hopelessness and despair. Be sure to remember that you are not experiencing these feelings at this time, just remembering them. Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Is there a feeling of constriction around your heart or your abdomen? Remember a feeling of hopelessness. Now let's move that now into hope. Now experience the opposite, a feeling of hope. Allow your heart to open and expand to the possibilities of good outcomes. A feeling of support and love from those around you, and imagine positive outcomes to your stressful situations, and bathe in this feeling of hope. And then notice your breathing. From our emotions, let's move into our bliss body. Let's take a moment to recall a very happy time in your life. One of your happiest memories. Recall as many details as possible. Notice who's around you, what's around you. The colors, the shapes, the textures. Notice the sounds, the smells. There might even be a taste. Notice how you feel in this moment in time, your favorite memory. And take a nice, deep breath. And exhale. Let's do that again. Breathe in. And exhale. Let's come back into the present moment, back into the now. Beautiful. All right. Let's go back and repeat our 6 essential spinal movements. First, hands in front of us. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, push it away. Inhale, bring it forward. Drop a hand down. Exhale, relax. Inhale, circle sweep an arm up. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, float it down. Let's do that other side. Inhale, circle sweep arm up. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, back on down. Inhale, arms up into those little goals. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Exhale, turn. Inhale, back to heart center. Wait, stay here. Exhale, back to heart center. Inhale, over to the other side. Exhale, stay here. Belly button towards the spine. Inhaling, stay here. Now, exhale, back to heart center. Beautiful. Let's bring in an idea of gratitude. So let's place either the hands to heart center in your prayer mudra, or place one hand on the heart, then the other hand on that hand. Let's gaze at the tops of the fingers, or gaze down at the floor. So let's bring in an idea of gratitude, something that you're thankful for. Maybe it's the place where you lie your head down at night, the food that you have. Maybe it's the toilet roll that you have there in the bathroom. Could be, right? Maybe it's the God that you worship, the family you have, the food that you eat. Have a little attitude of gratitude and appreciation for something right now in your daily life. All right. I want to thank you for joining me today for this adaptive yoga class. I teach this also on Thursday at 10 o'clock Central Time. I'll come back to this place to find the class. And the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and an attitude of gratitude, and pass it on. Amen. Namaste. Shalom. Peace be with you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thank you, Veterans Yoga Project. See you next week.